whenever I get into conversation, people are like, oh, my phone is listening to me. There's certain rules around paid media where Brendan, one of our guys, he shows me this table. This person, it took them seeing the same Google ad 3 times, same Meta ad 4 times before they made a purchase. That's not manipulation. That's influence, basically. It's a tool, a powerful tool. I'm allowing this to happen.
It will also put people in close proximity in dangerous positions. In my opinion, that is going to be the downfall of humanity.
Like people forming romantic relationships with AI. I think that's where manipulation is maybe at play.
It's never encoded in the manual. It's not manufactured for the purpose that humans are intending us to become.
I have a voice. I can speak up.
So today we'll be speaking to a man that single-handedly spent just over 3 million Rand in ad spend in 2024. He knows how to influence people, when to influence them, and how to actually make them buy. Today we will talk about how AI and spirituality, the truth, comes together and unites within the marketing machine. Today we're speaking to none other than Tarquin Barry, the head of paid media of Hive Digital. Tarquin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for the intro, Rowan.
So we're sitting on this amazing deck. The sun is out. And as I said in the previous podcast as well, we are in the process of getting our lease agreement ready and in place for our podcast. So we're literally just working with what we have today.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
How are you feeling today? Tell me, how's your life? How was the coffee this morning? And where are you exactly at this point in stage in your life?
I'm currently on a deck, risking my life for this podcast. But yeah, the coffee was really good this morning. Yeah, I would say I'm in a space of looking at new horizons, I would say. New things, a lot of disruptions in the market, but it's always great to find something new. I think we had a conversation a few years ago where I think I sat in your office and I said, I hate being bored, I hate redundancy. And I remember you challenged me in that moment. You're like, okay, if I give you something new and different, what will it look like? And yeah, that's how the conversation started. And that's how I think we are here today, where I'm sitting in the position that I'm sitting in. Yeah.
And it was like a balance of roles. It was like, cool, let's put you in this position, like let's test it, but it will be almost like a hybrid. So you still have those normal duties, responsibilities, but you also, the passion that you have for paid ads, like let's test you in that. And that actually brings me to the question around when we initially started, or when you initially started in the ad space.
Sure.
What was the primary thing for you as the head of Hive's paid now, the head of paid media? What was the primary passion or trigger point that led you to, this is something that I want to pursue?
Yeah, I think the conviction of sitting in front of clients and wanting to give them something of value was the biggest thing. I remember having to do reporting sessions with clients and always feeling a little bit unsure about myself at first. But then when I started to see results, it almost boosted my confidence sitting before them and being like, you know what, we smashed some amazing metrics this month. Here you go. That's what we did for you. And it just sort of gave me that sense of peace when I sat with them, and I kind of felt like I'd steward this account well. I made them feel at ease with working with us, like we were actually caring for them. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was probably the challenge of it all. It was a very unknown space to me for a long time. I messed around with it. I think I told you about my little chicken hustle business back in the day. Yeah, I used to try and push that quite strongly. With a little 200, 300 Rand budget, messing around with 2 of my friends, trying to, make sure we were selling as many chicken products across PE as possible.
So just for context, you actually sold chicken out of a fridge to students and people, right?
Yeah. We, 2 guys, a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and a WhatsApp business line. 3 vehicles. And open Saturday morning with all the possibilities that were there. We had the most, I would say, bare bones business model I'd ever seen, but we made the most of it and we enjoyed it as well. But then it came to marketing, and it was myself and 2 engineers, me qualified in marketing, 2 engineering guys, and they just didn't want to touch social media. That wasn't their sphere, wasn't their focus, wasn't what they were comfortable with. I just yeah, made regular posts, and that's what I did on my personal profile. But I went and I learned. I discovered things, and then yeah, pushed for sales on our WhatsApp line first.
WhatsApp.
Yeah,
So
very native.
it wasn't like your mixed years. It was like your
No,
BBM years. That's
no,
a bit like
no.
pre.
Yeah, no romance involved.
Yeah.
Mixed, it was more about relationships and romance, and yeah.
So tell me, why do you think that there's such? It's almost like it's too good to be true. That there's almost like suspicion around. Listen, can you truly grow and scale
Yeah.
our account?
Ooh, I think
Because sorry, the sentiment that we've picked up over the years
Yeah.
is, it's like, guys, but it sounds too easy. It sounds too good to be true. Like
Yeah.
there's no way that if I pay you X amount, that you can guarantee
Yeah.
X amount of return on ad spend
Mm.
for those clients. Why, if you had to just break down in your personal opinion that the sense of almost like disbelief, why is that so difficult for business owners, CEOs, and entrepreneurs to actually like grasp?
I think it comes down to a human psychology as well. Something sounds too good to be true, you generally aren't going to believe it. I mean, if somebody had to come up to you today and say, here's the keys to a Ferrari, you'd look at them like they're crazy. You'd be like, why would you give me this, But I think when we actually sit with them, and I think we almost have to backtrack to when you have a solid strategy. All the ads do is they just enhance how good that is. That's what it comes down to. Ads is like the I would say the stage 2 kit you're going to put in your Hilux, in a sense. The Hilux can do amazing things, but you put that stage 2 kit in there and then it can do even more wonderful things. So I think it comes down to that. And I think a lot of people over the years, what I've seen is we have a little bit of a background in it. It's like insurance. The first thing you want to pull the plug on when things are a little bit tough is marketing. Let's pull the plug on the marketing. It's because you don't understand the value that it actually brings. You don't see the power of it actually. And I think because the lines get crossed between marketing and advertising, and that's where the issue lies ultimately. It's people think, I put a billboard sign up, I put a sign up outside my office, an LED sign, and suddenly I'm going to get all this business coming in. It's just going to work like magic, but that's not what actually happens. And I think the reality of it is, with ads, there's so much that goes into that machine. Yes, it's the strategy, but then it comes down to the actual building of that ad. It's the audience structure. It's the way we want to target. It's the behavior we're looking for in that consumer. It comes down to the retargeting aspects as well. I know it's something that we love to also bring up when we meet with clients. It's like, if somebody's spending X amount of time on your website, or they're adding to the cart, or they're looking at your checkout page on your website, that's a lot more promising of a client than the guy driving down the road seeing your billboard that he passed 2 seconds and didn't really even take notice of it. Yeah. So I think that's where it comes down to. It's that aspect. And I think there's also an element of people have been burned before. They've been overpromised things and there was massive under-delivery happening. And then we come in and we have this deep conviction that as much as your business, we feel like it's our business. We celebrate every time there's a sale and a win and we hit a target for the month, or we see an amazing thing happen for your business. We get excited because we see the potential for the business, not just for our contract with you, but we see the potential for that business. I always like to say, when guys in our team sit at a braai with people and somebody pulls out a product, or maybe I can't say the name of the product, maybe, pull out a product that we work for, there's a sense of pride that builds up because like, hey, that's my client. Hey, I was meeting with that guy the other day. Hey, I was chatting with him. He was telling me about all these interesting ventures that the business potentially going to go into. And we're excited for that because we see the potential. And I think it's bigger than us. And I think that's what we love to see, like, when we know this is going to expand into people's homes, it's going to expand into feeding a family at the end of the day who works for this company. There's that deep, rich, just sense of like pride in what we do almost,
Yeah. Also, one of the bigger things that you've also noticed in our clients is, especially if they start seeing the results, there's this this relief that comes, it's almost like a pressure that gets taken off of them. And all of a sudden it frees them up to actually work on their business and not in their business.
Yeah.
Where when the pressure relief is there and the finances is flowing in, all of a sudden they can grow as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. And I think that's also, for me personally, that's the amazing part around, I'm always of the opinion that there's two components to an entrepreneur. There is your ability to make money, and there's also your ability to develop your character, to grow your identity in preparation for the next season. So it's like, sure, we can give the ad account to Tarquin and he can scale it. But once you hit the 3, 4, 5 million a month in sales, are you capable and able of not just hanging on to it, but actually utilizing and stewarding that money efficiently in order that it is a sustainable wealth and it's not just something that you don't just sit around the table with Tarquin and it's like a lotto machine. It's like, okay, cool, you want.
We wish.
So I think a question that's on everyone's lips is, and you're in the hot seat today.
Thanks.
And the question is, what is the difference between influencing and manipulating?
Ooh. Yeah, I would say there is a misconception when it comes to paid ads that it's a manipulation tactic. But I would say influencing and manipulation, very different. I mean, the words themselves really tell you it's different. Manipulation, you're basically like strong arming somebody into doing something that they never had any intention of doing in the first place. And I think influencing is you identifying that there's a need in something, an aspiration for something, and then building off of that to sort of draw them towards an action. It's very, very different in the ad space. I know there's the common thing that I hear whenever I get into conversation with people. They're like, oh, my phone is listening to me. I was talking about buying this machine or this coffee machine or this thing from Checkers the other day, and the next thing I looked at my phone, and then all of a sudden that's all I see when I go into my social media accounts or I'm reading an article online. And yeah, there's a part to that, but I think you identify with that thing a lot of the time, that's something that you want or you desire. I think manipulation comes in when there's a need almost created out of nothing, out of pure, I would say a figment of your imagination or out of air. There's just a product gets pushed on you and you're just like, oh, all these benefits, I never thought I'd ever need them, but now I clearly do, and now I'm going to purchase this thing. And yeah, that does come across as manipulation at the end of the day. I always say there's certain rules around paid media where I believe that, and there's Google studies that get into this type of stuff, where it's the whole 11 touch points, 4 hours of actual content consumption before somebody makes a purchase. And it's the reality. I mean, that's why we see it with our attribution model as well. Brendan, one of our guys, he shows me this table, and I'm like, this person, it took them a matter of seeing the same Google ad 3 times, the same Meta ad 4 times before they made a purchase. And to me, that's not manipulation. That's influence, basically. It's you took an interest in it. The algorithm picks it up. It says like, okay, you're engaging with this. You're enjoying this content, so we're going to push it a bit more. I think, yeah, there are guys who try to manipulate. I don't want to say it's everybody, but I see there is something like that in the market. Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, we aren't responsible for people's decisions.
Yeah.
But we do provide them through the mechanism of the algorithm to display content to them in preference to what the data points are telling us. And if you had to take it in hindsight, let's assume for a moment you are showing ads to someone that's extremely susceptible to purchasing off the cuff. Whatever they see, they just like get into it.
It's like me and watches, yeah.
Yes. When you position ads to someone and you're continuously just showing them content, but they are a sucker for buying absolutely everything. At the end of the day, after a couple of purchases, that person needs to start develop self-discipline.
Yeah.
So one could also be of the opinion that even if you had to be a manipulative marketer, you are actually bringing something forth from a person internally that they need to deal with that actually is going to require self-discipline.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it speeds up, it boost ramps the entire self-discipline process in the instance of someone that is just a casual buyer, just buy for the sake of seeing stuff online.
Yeah, I think I found it kind of funny. I remember it was like 3 years ago, and you had never heard of Superbalist at that point. And I found that hilarious because I think at that point, I was a monthly shopper on that platform. And that in myself was a self-control issue. I realized it later on. I was on that app more than I was on probably my own social media half of the time. I was just like adding things to my wish list, adding things to my cart. Yeah, dreaming of purchasing things that I shouldn't be purchasing in the first place. And now I own, I think it's like something like 15 black t-shirts in my cupboard at the moment. It's a real, problem because I'll convince myself, oh, that's a necessity, I'll add it in. Oh, that's a needed thing, I'll add it in. But then I'm being targeted at the same time. I'm being fed retargeting ads all the time. But until I realize that thing in myself, like, hey, I actually need to get a grasp on this thing and not allow it to bend my arm towards going on that app over and over, cutting off the email marketing, not going on the app every day, actually saying I'm not interested in this ad when I go on my social media, and actually forcing the algorithm.
Discipline kicks in there.
And it's needed.
Yeah. If a client comes to you and the client's like, do whatever you need to do to get me sales, whether that is exploiting pain points of customers, whether that is playing directly on fears, and even if that is literally like exploiting the core essence of what makes a person exceptionally vulnerable and solving their vulnerability through a specific product which they don't really even need. How would you approach a conversation like that to a round table with a business owner when they come to that request?
Man. Yeah, there's a thin line between your own sort of convictions and morals and then making a client happy. It's, you kind of have to find that balance in that. Obviously, I want to lean more towards my own personal values and convictions. And I mean, I've experienced it as well where, when that they sort of push back and they want that so desperately. But I think there's, it just becomes a point of, you kind of have to steer the conversation away from that mentality a lot of the time and kind of guide them to, this is the better option for your business. You also don't want to become the Temu of everybody's life where it's a love-hate relationship right now. Everybody wants to purchase from the app, but at the same time, with all the ads and the spinning wheels and the annoyance that it becomes, people are susceptible and they are influenced by things. But I think, we're sheep up to a certain point when it comes to things like this, and we need to also understand that a certain point, there's a threshold in people's mindset where like they start pushing back and it's like, actually, no, I'm not going to accept this any further. I'm actually going to realize that this is negative and this is actually an addictive behavior, or this is a negative outcome that I'm going to get from this experience. And they will start pushing back from.
Wow, that's interesting. So almost like if someone had to go the extreme route of do whatever is necessary, it's almost like an internal thermostat. So they'll reach a specific point whereby they feel that the push from a marketing perspective is just too high. The gamification is just ridiculous. I've spun this wheel now 17,000 times, and every time you just want to suck money out of me. No names mentioned. But so in your opinion, there comes a point where the customer will start to realize that, hey, this is maybe not really good for me. And on that question, Have you ever sit behind the data and gone through the ROAS and seen that, hey, things are going very well, the ROI is exceptionally high, but have you ever paused for a moment and still thought to yourself, is this still good for the people?
Yeah, definitely. It's happened on more than one occasion. And I think there's not just that, but there's a counterbalance where I go, is this good for the client as well? Because I'm allowing this to happen as well in a sense. So if I have a voice, I can speak up and say, maybe this isn't the best route to follow. Let's rather venture down this road. But from a consumer perspective, yeah, definitely I look at things and I kind of go, is this, yeah, does this actually go against what I stand for and what I know to be good and true? And yeah, there's moments of self-reflection in that. But yeah, I would say that it's very few as of, yeah, for me, because I think I generally kind of get a feel for something at the beginning, and if I don't feel comfortable, I immediately want to like take my hands off it and back out of it. Yeah, I think I've learned that it's better to voice than to rather suppress it a lot of the time, because you'll out of fear of man, we might go like, oh, I don't wanna upset this person, you know, oh, this is money in the bank at the end of the month. But I think the realistic thing is just that, you know, it depends on who you're accountable with it at the end of the day. I think if we are living lives that are accountable to God, and you know, we value our relationship with him, we're gonna do things that are in line with his will and his purpose for our lives, and those type of things will just derail you and take you off course from what he actually has, the good plans and one perfect plans he has for your life. Yeah,
It's a responsibility game, man. It's being in this position where you need to push the dials in the machine. You need to make the money.
yeah,
You need to deal with the worldly mammon, almost in a sense. But there's still stewardship that is required in order to align with your values.
yeah.
And still do the best in what you have, and actually how to pull through. I want to ask you as well, have you ever decided that it's not worth scaling a brand,
Oh,
even if the ads are working?
yeah. I think there comes a point, and I think it's more on the client side of things than it is on the agency side of things. I mean, if you can see that, man, yeah, there's just nothing positive being said about service delivery or quality of this product, you kind of want to ease off the pedal a little bit and give that business space to really perfect and hone what they're doing well and with excellence from what the service provides. Then you kind of have to go, okay, we need to take some pressure off of this for a little bit.
Talking in your personal opinion, what is one of the scariest things that you've personally encountered through AI?
You had to say personal. Man. Firstly, sure, AI is brilliant. I don't think there's a day I don't talk to ChatGPT. That's quite interesting. I think I formed a much deeper ChatGPT relationship with ChatGPT than some of my closest friends. It's quite interesting. I think it knows more of my personal questions than anything else. We're seeing so many things happen in that space that I think now the scary thing is the apparent thing is like deepfakes. That's probably the scariest thing. Man, I had to admit it the other day. I fell for it. I fell for it deeply. There was some video that was going on online that was talking about how there's this syndicate happening in Cape Town where they believe that extraterrestrials are behind it, UFOs and aliens. And I was like,
In Cape Town?
in Cape Town. And I was like, yo, this is so close to home.
Kraaifontein, like where would you...
there, yeah. Yeah, the mothership is landing in Kraaifontein next week or something, you know. And I saw this video and I was like, man, this is such good clickbait. But something in me was there was almost this internal battle of like, oh, is this fake or is this real? And in that split moment, I realized like, I've been convinced. Just the fact that I even considered it to be real, I was like, this is such nonsense. But there I was clicking on the video, going in and watching all these deep fake AI generated humans talk about their UFO sightings and whatever happened. And it turned out to be an ad for some local business. Yeah, to me, I just realized like,
It's like a roll-on company or like what is it?
I think it was a local like paint company or something.
Oh my word. Well, like whoever did those ads,
Yeah.
let's say you've just influenced
Let's say
one of the best paid ads managers in South Africa. So well done, you paint agency. Well done.
Whatever you're selling.
Yo.
It's becoming a real thing. I think from content perspective, it's becoming more and more difficult to tell the difference. And I think, if I have to go into something like less entertaining, I would say not from my personal experience, but just to hear about it, like people forming romantic relationships with AI. It's such I think that's where manipulation is maybe at play, where very lonely people struggling with mental health issues are investing their time and money into these things, and they're not forming real life relationships anymore. They're forming a relationship with this robot that's going to basically tell them what they want to hear. There's no sense of, actual connection anymore.
So apparently between 2030 and 2035, it'll be a general practice to not only date, but also like marry AI. And, I think that there was this interview with Gary Vee and someone else the other day where they spoke about, like, how is that okay?
Yeah.
Like, when is it fine to marry your vacuum cleaner? Man, it's like, cool, we are like married here. In my personal opinion, that is going to be the downfall of humanity.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, you are like in the days of Noah, you are investing not only your energy, but also from a sensational and even a sexual component, like all of those, when spiritual and sexuality combines within a robot from a human, that's a very, very, very dangerous space to play in.
Yeah.
Because as we know, we're body, spirit, and soul. We're not just flesh. So it's not just getting in contact with pieces of metal. But once you actually invest deeper parts of yourself and intertwine that with a robot and technology, I think that's not good.
Yeah.
That's definitely not going to work out for us as humans.
Yeah.
And it comes down again as like, we all want to be God. We want to create things. We are made to create things, right? We are made to reappropriate. So in other words, like multiply, multiplication, create people, create new humans on this planet. But then we're also there to co-create alongside our creator and create things. Use the technology, use AI, use our ability and our creativity to procreate, in a sense, to duplicate what has been given. But there's a fine line of giving your soul to a robot and allowing yourself to be infused together with something that is not meant to be infused. It's like when you take your car and you put a performance chip in it. Like that's okay. It's fine. Yes, it's aftermarket, but I mean the system can still run. But if you're not going to take and you put a massive, I'm not a mechanic, so I'm speaking I'm just using an analogy, right? It's like if you're going to take a truck's turbo and you're going to mount that thing into your 1600 Polo,
man,
you might get like an awesome pull away. Like that thing's going to pull. I don't know. You guys might scrutinize me in the comment section if you're mechanics. Please, I don't know what I'm speaking about. Just go with me here. So you put this artificial thing into something that can't sustain or handles the output of that specific thing. It's not just going to decrease the life expectancy of the thing, but it will also put people around it in close proximity in dangerous positions because you don't know what the outcome of that's going to be. It's never encoded in the manual.
Yeah.
It's not manufactured for the purpose that humans are intending us to become. It's a difficult thing, and we really need to think about how we're going to play with AI and how we're going to how close are we going to allow that thing to come into our proximity as a human?
The brain rot culture is such a real thing now that, I mean, us as human society relying so much on technology, but there's nothing can replace the human interaction, human connection at the end of the day. There's something about sitting with somebody and having a deep, meaningful conversation with them, or sharing about, what's your current interests or what's your current struggles. There's something deep about that that, like you said, procreates something in that space as well. Something that powerful happens in that moment. And you sit with the machine, all it's going to do is feed you out numbers and figures, and it's going to give you generic outputs at the end of the day, and you're never going to really feel a sense of fulfillment. So it's going to become this constant hamster wheel experience of, I'm never going to be fully satisfied. I'm never actually going to be fully reach full self-actualization even through this experience, because you're just going to be feeding it all the time, trying to get what you need from it, but never actually getting it. And that's, to me, that ultimately just breeds addiction in a sense. That's how you end up in an addiction's persona, basically, or position, is where you're feeding something, expecting a result, but never getting it, never getting the sense of satisfaction and fulfillment out of it. And Rowan, you touched on it, we're not created for that. We're not created for that. I think it's a tool. It's a powerful tool. It's something that we can use to do so much with society, and to build so much, and to empower people to do so much as well. There's so many people who don't have the ability to pursue things like tertiary education and start a career, or be in the position to do certain things. But there are guys who are literally starting up businesses, one-man, two-man shows, and AI is their staff. And we staff and AI, we know it's a tricky subject as well, but I mean, for a guy who's got, let's say he's got 1,000 Rand in his bank account today, or $100 in his bank account today, to be able to start something up from the ground and be able to feed his family, to be able to start a legacy for his family, it's a powerful tool in that sense. I just think it comes down to when we abuse it, when we look to get something that it was never designed for. That's the problem.
If you had to give some advice to maybe some of our listeners is listening, and they are a startup entrepreneur, right? So they've recently started their business, and they want to start getting into the space of ads. Because they want to take their business to the next level. They've tried the organic route. They've done a couple of ads on Canva. They've played around, etc. What would your baseline initial first step strategy be, and advice that you would give to someone that is interested in exploring the paid ad space?
Just on a light note, buy Canva Pro. Don't be that guy who's got watermarks on his ads. Just sends the wrong message. I would say it comes from a point of, firstly, upskilling yourself, and then learning from what the people in the industry are doing as well. It's a really big game of testing things, and I think it's become sort of the norm of the way I speak about the ad space. It's like you're sitting in a lab, you're trying to experiment with things, so you have an idea of something, but now it becomes a concept. So let's test that concept. Let's break it down to its core fundamentals, and then let's see how this works in the ad space.
Can I take this on a complete, practical example, right? So let's say, for argument's sake, I own a small little bakery that I run from home.
Oh, awesome.
Right? I create chocolate cookies, and I have about 3 or 4 variations. I primarily sell to my friends and my family. But I've recently started to reach out in my local proximity community, as in my neighbors, etc. And they are now also buying. And I actually, in fact, got 2 businesses that buys my cookies for their business, maybe once a month.
Okay.
I want to now start to run some ads. because I want to target more people in my area.
Yeah.
Where do I start?
It starts with a little bit of marketing in 101, like grassroots level type of stuff. You got to understand your audience. I think if you understand who you're speaking to, and really, if it's your business, if it's your brand, to really take a step back, look at your product, look at your service and go, okay, I'm selling these amazing chocolate cookies. I've got these 2 businesses that are on board for being my regular clients. I've got this community of people supporting me. And that's the powerful thing with social media. So you can convert that community to online. It becomes more visible, but it comes down to your audience. So I would say, look at your product and consider all the use cases of your product first, and then go, okay, this is what I use it for, whether it's my midnight snack, whether it's my pre-workout, whatever the case may be. Then breaking those into different segments. So these are my different audience groups for my different use cases. And then from there, you start developing your audiences. And then as soon as you want to start getting to the actual advertising space, you got to upskill. You got to, I would say, I did 4 years of university. I did 6 months of a short course. I've spent probably a year's worth of delving into hours of content online. And it's a space that's constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly developing. You want to be up to date with the latest things that are going on. The platforms are always introducing new features and new powerful tools to also be utilized. AI is there, hanging out, trying to make your life easier. So it goes into deciding, okay, if this is my audience, what platform am I going to advertise on? Are they the type of people who purchase on this type of platform? Or can I use a platform to engage and build a community and build awareness around my product? Because maybe that's where the starting point is. Maybe it's such a good product that as soon as you hear about it and you know it, you'll purchase it in a moment because it's that good. It's a product that's easy to test, low price range type of thing. So I think once you've got that down, you start delving into that space of understanding what it is to advertise. Yeah, just I'd say YouTube is a great resource. Try it out. Google a couple of things while you're on there, because language is going to be used, terminology is going to be used where you might not understand what this is referring to exactly.
And if you would need help with maybe setting up your ad account or even just getting some free advice,
my number's here.
You could reach out to us. We'll leave the link to Hive in the bio, in the comment section.
0800 Hive ads over here.
Yeah. We'll just get the banner rolling over here.
It's like a very mock ad.
Tarquin, I thank you for your time today on the roof.
Yo.
The sun is really coming out. I'm feeling it straight on my face. I want to end this session off by asking you a question. And the question is, when your son one day asks you, Dad, does ads make people want things that they don't need? What would your response be?
And firstly, I'm glad I'm having a son. It's a good starting point there. If I have to use it as a metaphor, I would say, it's like anything in life. It's, you put an axe in somebody's hand, and they can go and get firewood and sell it and feed their family, or they can become an axe murderer. It's one of the two things. Like, they have an option, they have a choice. I know it's extremes, but yeah, that's realistically what it's like. You put a tool in somebody's hand, and it's their choice what they want to do with it.
Guys, if you enjoyed this episode on the roof with Tarquin Barry, leave us a comment, give us a like. It means the world to us, so that we can do more of these cool videos in the sun, on the roof, outside, speaking to you lovely people. See you on the next episode. Cheers.